Sometimes animals are just so elusive that people think they no longer exist on this planet, like this living fossil and this tiny reptile. Takahi. There are Takahis for every dodo and moa, despite the fact that flightless birds don't have a good relationship with extinction. The multicolored Takahi, a remnant of the rail family, a huge genetic group that includes coots and crakes, used to traverse most of modern-day New Zealand. After being wiped out by predation, poaching, and habitat destruction, the species was proclaimed extinct in 1898. However, 50 years later, a robust colony was discovered high in the Murchison Mountains. Takahi have large, muscular red beaks and substantial red legs. Their feathers range from a deep royal blue on the head, neck, and breast to peacock blue on the shoulders and iridescent turquoise and olive green on the wings and back. They do have wings, but they only display them during courting or when they fight. Takahi breed only once a year and nurture only 1 or 2 chicks. The pair's territories will be fiercely defended. Families necessitate a large amount of land, with territories ranging from 4 to 100 hectares depending on food availability and quality. The Takahi became the focus of New Zealand's longest-running endangered species campaign, which has now spread to 7 islands and numerous mainland locations, establishing it as a conservation success story. A green broadbill. A rare sighting of the formerly extinct green broadbill bird in Singapore has bird enthusiasts buzzing. The bird, known for its highlighter green plumage, was spotted on the offshore isle of Pulau Ubin on June 27, 2011, according to Lim Liang Jim, Group Director for Conservation at Singapore's National Parks Board. The bird was declared extinct in Singapore 70 years ago. Joyce Leigh Mesure, a bird watcher, spotted the rare green broadbill on June 27, 2021 in Pulau Ubin, an island northeast of Singapore, according to local news outlets. According to the Singapore Birds Project, the green broadbill used to live in there. Nonetheless, the efforts claim that the bird has seldom been observed in Singapore since 1941. Because it was their first time seeing this bird species, some local bird watchers describe this sighting as a lifter. According to specialists, the green broadbill spotted on Pulau Ubin is definitely a male, as evidenced by its rich green feathers and a broad tuft of fluffy feathers on its back. The male has a large black bar on its wings and a prominent black patch behind its eyes. Gomera giant lizard. More than 2 decades ago, the giant lizard of Gomera was assumed to be extinct. Only fossil evidence of its existence was discovered, revealing that there were duplicates of more than 1 meter in length living in the center and lower portions of the island in La Gomera in the past. According to the statements of several Valle Gran Rey residents who claim to have seen and even captured the giant lizard of La Gomera, a team of zoologists from the University of Laguna rediscovered it in July of 1999. The La Gomera giant lizard is a large lizard that can reach a length of 1.9 meters. This species can only be found in, of course, La Gomera, and its scientific name commemorates Canary paleontologist and geologist Telesforo Bravo. Their tranquil existence was shattered by the arrival of people, notably European settlers, some 3,000 years ago. The human presence had a profound impact on the environment, causing forests of dragon trees, pine trees, saplings, and cardinals to disappear. Aside from deforestation, the introduction of goats, lambs, pigs, rats, dogs, and cats has contributed to its decline and near extinction. Because of this, they've sought sanctuary, if not hiding in ravines and cliffs with limited access. Chapman's pygmy chameleon. One of the world's smallest and rarest chameleon species has been rediscovered in Malawi, where it was thought to be on the verge of extinction in only a few patches of jungle. The Chapman's pygmy chameleon is only around 5.5 centimeters long, roughly the length of a golf tee. Scientists did not observe the cryptic chameleons again until 2016, when researchers from the South African National Biodiversity Institute and the museums of Malawi searched for them in the rainforest environment. Over the last 40 years, an estimated 80% of the rainforests of Malawi Hills, where the chameleons inhabit, have been destroyed, primarily for agricultural purposes. All that's left is an area roughly the size of 100 football fields. The researchers discovered 17 adult chameleons while surveying 2 of the 5 remaining woodland sections. The researchers also returned to Mikundi, approximately 75 kilometers away, where captive bred chameleons were released in 1998. They discovered 21 adult chameleons, as well as 11 youngsters and hatchlings dwelling in the woodland. The remaining pygmy chameleon populations are unable to cross the lengthy and exposed distance between forest fragments to breed, putting them at risk of genetic isolation. Genetic testing of the rediscovered chameleons found that, while it hasn't happened yet, this restriction in gene flow between the isolated populations will certainly diminish their genetic diversity over time. Night parrot. A nocturnal and primarily ground-dwelling Australian parrot was assumed to be extinct. For nearly 140 years, there had been no documented sightings of a living night parrot, so when naturalist John Young discovered the near-mythic bird in a remote part of Australia's outback in 2013, it was one of the most incredible accounts of species rediscovery in recent times. It may be Australia's rarest bird, and it was only just spotted for the first time, but new data gathered by Indigenous rangers has revealed the country's largest known night parrot population. From 2021 to 2022, Ngurrapa and Kiwirka rangers have been recording night parrot cries from locations spanning 100 kilometers in the southern Kimberley's Great Sandy Desert. The recordings are music to the ears of Nick Lesberg, a night parrot researcher at the University of Queensland. Over the last decade, the emergence of Indigenous ranger groups administering their traditional area, along with the most recent scientific understanding and technology, has resulted in a flurry of night parrot discoveries. Mr. Lesberg, on the other hand, stated that these species was still extremely rare and critically endangered. New Guineas Singing Dog. The New Guineas Singing Dog was assumed to be extinct in the wild, but new DNA studies reveal that its characteristic howl can still be heard in the Oceanic Islands highlands. Scientists hadn't seen a wild New Guinea singing dog since the 1970s, and conservation biologists assumed the only remaining animals were the 200 to 300 captive animals in zoos and sanctuaries. None had been spotted in their natural habitat in more than a half-century until 2016, when an expedition discovered and researched 15 wild dogs. These were in the rugged highlands of western New Guinea, known as Papua in Indonesia. In 2018, a new expedition returned to the study site to collect thorough biological samples in order to confirm where these highland wild dogs are, in fact, the predecessors of the singing dogs. The highland dogs are thought to be the original and wild population of New Guinea singing dogs, despite the fact that their genomes are not identical. The inbreeding in captive New Guinea singing dogs and their physical separation over many years are thought to be the causes of this divergence. Tequila Fish. Get your lime and salt ready because it's time to toast the Mexican tequila fish with a shot glass. The small tequila splitfin, which is only 7 centimeters long and approximately the width of a palm, went extinct in the wild in 2003, owing to the combined impacts of water pollution and invasive foreign fish species. Tequila fish colonies are growing again thanks to a particular collaboration between the UK's Chester Zoo and Mexico's Michoacana University. The tequila splitfin is a freshwater species of fish in the Gudite family that is unique to the Tuxtlan River in the Mexican state of Jalisco. The species, named for the tequila volcano that looms over its watery habitat, had a significant drop in population in the 90s. This prompted a team of experts from the university's aquatic biology unit to investigate measures to save it. Ivan Dibble, an aquarist at Chester Zoo, donated 5 pairs of tequila splitfins to the university in 1998. The 10 fish were used to establish a colony at the university's laboratory, which the scientists nurtured for the following 15 years. The Coelacanth. An amazing fish that was unexpectedly found alive and well in 1938 off the east coast of South Africa after being thought to have perished 66 million years ago with the dinosaurs is now revealing even more surprises. A recent study of these massive and nocturnal deep-sea creatures indicates that they live nearly 5 times as long as previously thought. Around a century, really. We've also learned that females carry their offspring for 5 years, the longest known gestation period of any animal. The researchers observed that one of the 2 living species of coelacanth develops and grows at one of the slowest rates of any fish, reaching sexual maturity at the age of 55. Around 400 million years ago, or 170 million years before dinosaurs, coelacanths first appeared. Based on the fossil record, they were thought to have died during the mass extinction that wiped off over 3/4 of Earth's species, following an asteroid strike at the end of the Cretaceous period. The coelacanth was dubbed a living fossil after it was discovered alive. Black-naped pheasant pigeon. A bird that had been assumed to be extinct for 140 years has been rediscovered in Papua New Guinea's forests. The black-naped pheasant pigeon with black and orange plumage and crimson eyes remained a mystery for more than a century after it was first and last sighted by biologists in 1882. The bird lives on Ferguson Island, a rough 500 square mile island off the coast of southeast Papua New Guinea. In September of 2022, a team of researchers from the Papua New Guinea National Museum, Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and American Bird Conservancy visited in the hopes of spotting the bird. According to Rewild, which helped fund the effort, the team spoke with locals to assist them in setting up camera traps to get an image of the bird. The team went nearly a month without seeing the bird. However, only 2 days before the researchers were to depart the island, Jordan Boersma, a postdoctoral researcher at Cornell Lab of Ornithology and co-leader of the expedition team, was reviewing camera footage when he was stunned to witness the bird stroll right by the camera. The researchers attributed their achievement to local hunter Augustin Gregory, who informed them he had seen the ground-dwelling bird and heard its sounds in a region with steep peaks and valleys. Fernandina giant tortoise. Scientists discovered a unique species of gigantic tortoise that had been thought to be extinct for over a century on the Galapagos Islands. It follows the finding of a lone female tortoise on Fernandina Island in February of 2019. Fernanda was the tortoise's name. In addition, she sparked a biological mystery. She's thought to be over 100 years old, and no one of her species has been seen since 1906, so she's been hiding out for the majority of her extinction. While many ecologists questioned her lineage, some suspected she was a Chelodonus fantasticus, or fantastic giant tortoise, and research published in the Nature journal confirmed she was. The presence of tracks and scents found around Fernandina Island suggests she's not alone. This lucky girl will be safe from the unexpected lava flows of Fernandina and the fearsome Galapagos hawks at the Fausta Lorena Breeding Center. Fernanda presently resides on Santa Cruz Island at the Galapagos National Park's Giant Tortoise Breeding Center. See you all next time!